regular interest payment to the investor at a specified rate. So here the rate is having another terminology, and it is known as coupon rate. Coupon rate is nothing but when you are in agreement of purchasing and selling bond and you are getting some amount of interest, this interest is called coupon rate. On the amount it has borrowed until a specified time, once the bond matures, the interest payment stop and the issuer is required to repay the face amount of the principal to the investor. It is obvious, if I lend money, say for example, if I lend rupees 1000 to another person, then if the coupon rate, here we will call it coupon rate, and if coupon rate is 10% and the maturity date is after 10 years, so till the duration of 10 years I will receive rupees 10 100 rupees on the face value of rupees 1000 for amount for interest. So issuer is required to repay the face amount of the on the principal to the investor. So this is the amount of interest to be paid until the principal amount gets matured, and after having matured the bond, there is no need of paying any interest, because the interest payments are made generally at set periods of time and are fairly predictable. Bonds are often called fixed income securities. In this example, we all know that by giving rupees 1000 at the rate of interest 10%, there is a security of income, subject to that the person or the parties to whom we are going are well secured, well rated, well examined. Coupon rates are most often fixed. The rate of interest stays constant throughout the life of the bond. However, that we will later on discuss about the types of bonds. In some bonds, there that may happen that the couponers are not fixed and they are fluctuating in natures, and this will come under that of floating coupon rates. So floating coupon rates are nothing but the coupon rates on which the rates are not being fixed, or they are subject to change under some circumstances, or in relation to the market situation. Some bonds pay no interest at all until mature. That may happen zero coupon bonds. There is no provision for paying interest at all, because bondholders are creditors rather than part owners. If a corporation goes bankrupt, bondholders have a higher claim on assets than stockholders. This provides added security to the bond investor but does not completely eliminate risk. This is like debenture holders. You have a higher age as compared to the other stockholders being bondholders. At the time of liquidation, you have a privileged special right to receive money in priority of other stakeholders. Finally, bonds are also traded differently from stocks. Bonds typically trade in the over-the-counter market. We found that the stocks or the equities are being traded out in NSE, BSE like exchanges. But for trading in bond, we have other markets besides this national stock exchanges and Bombay-based stock exchange, and it is called over-the-counter market. So these bonds are being traded in OTC market. Here I would like to make it clear: you can get income from bond in two manners. First, by putting money or giving money, and you are entitled to receive the amount of interest at stipulated rate of interest. Secondly, you can trade this bond in the market, that is in secondary market. So by selling and purchasing bonds in the market, you can also make some money. This is the specimen of bond. I have found out this from the website. The United States of America's bond is there, and beneath that, under that, there are four, 3, 2, 1 tags are there. These tags are called coupons. What will happen in earlier days? Here nowadays we cannot find bonds in physical manner. The thing is that nowadays we all are using demat accounts, so these documentations are being removed and converted into the electronic system of making reserve and making it safe. So there is no paper work nowadays in the form of equity or in the form of bond. So this is a very old specimen of bonds. This coupon, I'm discussing about the earlier time, you have to represent to the bank, and on the basis of this coupon, the bank will pay interest to you. So this is the format of bond, how it looks, and how coupons were being attached to that bond. Key features of bond. First, it is a debt instrument. We have discussed about the owner's equity and debt. So it is not within the sources of the company. We are using the money. We have to go outside, and from the outside resources we are using money. So the whatever the outside resources on which you are paying interest are come under the head of debt instrument. These bonds are issued by corporate or government. These bonds can be issued in three ways: par value, premium value, and discount value. Means the bond of rupees 100 can be issued at rupees 100. Even you can issue it at rupees 120, 150, and that will come under the head of premium value. Even you can issue the bond of rupees 100 at rupees 80, 70, 60, and that will come under the head of discount value. The rate of bond, that is the amount of interest or the rate of interest to be paid on borrowing the amount, is called coupon rate. So coupon rate is nothing but, in layman's language, it is just a rate of interest. Maturity is related with the term of expiry of bond. 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, depends on the need of money and the objectives of raising money. Last one is yield. Yield is a total profit earned on bond, including interest and including purchase and selling activities of bond. Different types of bonds. We may find some type of bonds in Indian economy, but overall these types of bonds are running in the markets. Fixed interest bonds, as we said, that the coupon rates. So fixed interest bonds are the bonds on which the rate of interest is fixed. Means it is not going to be fluctuated whatever the situation, whatever the case is. Floating rate bonds, in such type of bonds, as the name suggests, the rates are being floated. It is not fixed. That means the return on bonds is going to be fluctuated. Maybe it is correlated with the market. Maybe it is correlated with the some Sensex movements. So the floating rate bonds, in simple manner, they don't have any fixed amount of interest to be paid. Zero rate bonds, it may happen no interest is paid at all in zero interest bonds. So what is the profit under this situation? Let's discuss about this situation also. Under zero interest rate bonds, what will happen? It will be issued at discount. For example, the sorry, bond of rupees 100 was issued at rupees 80, and at the time of maturity you are receiving back rupees 100. So whatever the difference between 80 and 100, whatever you call it, you can call it interest, you can call it the income, you can call it capital gain. So under zero interest, the differential amount only is considered as an interest. Inflation linked bonds, the name itself suggests it is directly linked with the inflation. Means there is some standard methods of calculating the rate of inflation, and accordingly the rate of bonds will be fluctuated. Perpetual bonds, there is no maturity at all. Means you cannot receive the principal amount back at the time of maturity. Perpetual bonds will give you the amount of interest lifetime. Then subordinate bonds. The subordinate bonds are the next level of bonds. Means you can get the amount back at the time of liquidation, little bits being subordinate to the other stakeholders of the company. Bearer bonds, we can see out from the name also. Bearer means whosoever is holding the bonds are receiving the interest. There is no need to transfer the bonds to another name. It is naked. In simple manner, layman's language, there is no name registered of the holder for these bonds. Serial bonds, these are the continuous bonds. War bonds are related with the or issued under some circumstances, especially when the country is in a war-like situation and in need of money, they will issue such type of bonds. Climate bonds are directly related with the climates or the upbringing, upliftment, development of the climates, and for that purpose, these bonds are being used. Besides this, there is infrastructure bonds for the specific purpose of developing infrastructure. Now, difference between stock and bonds. Bonds are considered as debt investment. On the other hand, a stock purchase is considered as an equity investment because the investor, also known as the stockholder, becomes a part of owner of the corporation. The very first difference is the owner's equity and debt equity. You are not the owner of the company because you have purchased bond. You are considered as a creditor to the company. The issuers of stock or equity are typically companies. Issuers of debt can be either companies or government. We can find that it is a common practice that company is issuing the shares, while under these bonds the government can also issue the bonds. While bonds generally don't provide an opportunity to share in the profits of the corporation, the stockholder is entitled to receive a portion of the profit and may also be given voting rights. Bondholders, being creditors, earn interest, while stockholders typically receive dividends. Both may experience capital gains or capital losses if the price at which they sell their holdings is respectively higher or lower than the price at which they bought them. So one common thing is between bonds and equity, or we can say stockholders, is that they can get the benefit of market fluctuation. And the main difference is that the equity shareholders are depend on the dividend received, whereas the bond holders are dependent on the coupon rates. What are the benefits of investing in bonds? As there are fixed or a stable income or stable coupon rates bonds, there is a stability of income. Second, safety. We will discuss in the next slide that how safety is related with the bonds, as it is being credited by the esteemed and renowned institutions. Diversification, you can diverse along with the varieties of bonds. Choices, there are many choices where to invest, as there is number of bonds. Rating of bonds, again the safety matters. The most commonly cited bond rating agencies are Standard & Poor, Moody's and Fitch. They will analyze the company's situations, company's financial data, and on the basis of that only these companies will rate the company's financial position. So AAA is the best one. There is AA plus and triple C, double B. It being changed with the companies. In India, CRISIL is the authorized agency for credit rating. So by seeing credit rating, we can or we should invest in bonds market. Rate of interest versus bond prices. This is the most important point. Assume RBI rises the interest rate to 9%. What will happen if bond coupon is only 8%? Of course, you and me ask for 9%. We will not park our money to these government bonds or company bonds, and instead of that, what we will do? We will go with the RBI or other banks to park our money, as we are getting more amount of interest. Now the demand for the bond will come down and price will fall, then yield will rise. So this is up to the bond market. Then what are the risk of bond investing? The risk of default, price risk, coupon rate versus interest rate fluctuations, term to maturity, special features and demand supply. Bond yield. Those purchasing bonds with a lower price will get higher yield. For example, person buying bond for rupees 90 will get same coupon rate of rupees 8. He is effectively getting 8.89% of interest. This in the simple manner, if you are getting bond at a discounted price and at the maturity, if you are receiving the same price, under this situation, if coupon rates being fixed, take these examples 90, 100 and 110. 100 is the par value, that bond of rupees 100 you are getting at rupees 100. 90 is the discounted value and 110 is the premium price. So being interest rate or the coupon rate fixed, your yield will be increased if you buy bonds at discounted rate. This is all about the reverse repo, repos, bonds market. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
સંધાન. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.